or the Blarney Stone. Different rooms in the castle you can still go into and have tours of. But there's also parts of the castle that are underground. They are like a labyrinth of tunnels. They're called the Badger Caves. And this is where they think that during like times where there war and stuff, that people were able to get out of the castle and away. And a lot of people survived because of these things. They built them. It was smart. Also, like they put like prisoners down there and things like that. Mm-hmm. And one of the tunnels leads to Cork. Another one leads to the lake, and another leads all the way to Kerry, which is farther away. Which is crazy. They have a tunnel underground that goes that far. I should have wrote down how far that was, but I didn't.
And they say that Kerry County is the most beautiful place in the world.
Well, you can go to Blarney, get down to one of the tunnels and just walk there. Yes. And not see anything around you the whole time.
I know, really.
So, obviously, Blarney Castle is a huge tourist place.
Yes.
And one of the things way back when people were taking ships to tour and stuff, they're traveling across by ship instead of planes and everything. One of the main ports was right there by Cork. So, one of the first places people would go before they went to Dublin was to Blarney Castle to see it, because it was the tradition. You have to kiss the stone. To kiss the Blarney Stone is located at the top of the top of the tower in the castle. To get to it, you need to climb 127 steps up spiral staircases. Once you're there, you need to lay back, hold the iron rails, and lean way back to kiss the stone.
I knew that. And
then when you're laying back kissing the stone, you look down 100 feet below you. It's to the ground. So it's like an open thing.
Mm-hmm. I would fall and die.
Yeah. Now they put bars underneath it so that if you do fall, you aren't going to fall as far.
That's good.
That's good. Back in the day, however, the practice was to dangle a person by their ankles upside down to kiss the stone. That's how you kissed it. Like, you had to be dangled by your ankles. Now a guide is there holding your waist. You sit back, you lean back, you hold these bars, and there's a thing underneath. You can't fall. Back in the day, that wasn't the case, and that changed.
Do you think they would frown on if you wiped it with hand sanitizer first before you kissed it?
I think they must clean it between people now. Do you think?
I don't know.
I bet they're not doing it right now. I bet they didn't have it with COVID. I didn't really read that. I should have found out.
Wipes.
Yeah. They put an end to this when a traveler slipped through his friend's hands and fell and stuff.
Yikes.
Because dangling your friends upside down over 100 feet drop is probably not a good idea.
Definitely not.
Just putting it out there.
Yes.
Don't do that.
No.
Remember the time Michael Jackson had his baby with a thing over head dangling over top?
Wasn't that baby's name Blanket?
Yeah, he had a blanket over his head.
And his name was Blanket.
Yeah. And then he was like dangling him over the balcony of the thing. You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
He used to cover all his kids' faces.
Yeah, he didn't want... Well, I get that. And maybe some privacy, but don't bring him out then. That's just weird.
It is weird.
You're weird.
He was a weirdo,
yeah. And like I said, today there's bars and a guide there to make sure that you're not going to fall to your death.
And don't name your kid Blanket.
And yeah, that's another good advice. Don't dangle your friends over things.
And don't name your children
Blanket. And don't name your children Blanket. Yes. Of course, this is an ancient castle. There's always rumors of hauntings.
Yes, the older the castle, the more haunted it is, because lots of people have died there.
Yeah, so there's often heard voices and footsteps when no one's there within the castle walls. But so funny. Okay. Not only is the castle haunted, but the Martin River nearby is also haunted by ghosts. But not human ghosts. Ghosts of salmon.
What?
Yes. The salmon ghosts can be seen leaping from the river to catch insects.
They're not real salmon. They're ghosts of salmon.
They're ghosts of salmon.
How do you know? That's not real.
Because they're ghostly.
Oh, okay.
They're apparitions.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And also, it is said at times of impending danger, or it's like a warning sign, a herd of enchanted cows will come from the depths of the lake and graze on the meadows below the castle. So if you see the enchanted cows grazing, something bad's going to happen.
Oh, God.
It's foreboding.
It's a foreboding.
Yes. The castle also has a rock garden nearby and has a lot of strangely shaped rocks and different, rock formations. They have nicknames. One is the Druid Circle. There's a Fairy Glade, Wishing Steps, Witch's Cave, and the Witch's Kitchen. Legend says there's a witch at Blarney Castle, and she's imprisoned there. She can go out at night only, and she will make a fire at the spot called the Witch's Kitchen, where the rocks are formed. If you arrive very early in the morning, you will still see the embers
I am totally going to make a witch's kitchen and a rock garden at my house.
I know that's fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm going to share pictures of what each of those look like, because I didn't really have a chance to look up each of what they look like, but I want to see like exactly why they named them that and stuff. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Then we get to the meat of the story, the curse of Blarney Castle.
I've been waiting.
The Blarney Stone bring you good luck, right? So you go there, you climb up top, you hang upside down, you kiss the stone, you have good luck. You get the gift of gab. You can persuade people what you want.
Oh, yeah.
So the curse says that anyone who is to remove a stone from the castle grounds, no matter the size, any stone at all, a pebble, anything, will be cursed with bad luck. It brings misfortune and misery to whoever possesses it.
Yikes.
So, you know how some people collect rocks from every place they go?
Yeah, I used to, and my kids do.
Well, don't let them take one from there, okay? People lose their jobs, have accidents, get sick. And I have 2 specific cases I'm going to read about. One is a woman named Linda Kelly. She's from South Carolina. She actually didn't even go to Blarney Castle, okay? She purchased a stone that was said to be from Blarney Castle for $1 in a estate sale because her daughter lived in Ireland at the time, and she thought, oh, that's cute, I'll get that for her and send it to her. So she has it, at her house, and the second she got that in her hands, things started going bad. She was a real estate agent, I believe, and she lost clients. Big jobs fell through. She started to become depressed, and she never was depressed her whole life. She got very depressed, didn't even want to leave her house, and that wasn't the type of person she was. She would pay bills and then get phone calls saying that she never paid them. Like they're going to shut her stuff off. She's like, no, I paid that. And like, no, you didn't. So she's probably sending checks. I don't know. She decided that, she kind of heard about the curse of the Blarney Stones, but she obviously didn't. But she's like, okay, I'm not tempting this. So she wraps it up and she mails it back to County Cork, and she sends it right back to Blarney Castle. And the second it was out of her hand, her mood lightened and everything went back to normal.
That's crazy.
Then there's a Canadian man named Liam Sourmont, and he took a rock. He visited the castle in 2009 and took a rock with him as a souvenir, because people do. We do that. Everyone does that. Mm-hmm. Like, I got a rock from San Antonio, the Alamo. My mom grabbed one. Like, you buy those things.
My kids, when we went to Canada for the first time with them, we passed over to Canada, and they were like, when are we going to get in Canada? We are in Canada. We're in Canada? Yeah, because they were driving. They thought it was like, they didn't realize it was just like that.
Like a door would open or something.
Well, I want to get a souvenir. Well, we will when we get to where we're going, but I want a Canada souvenir. And it's just like they were little. And so my husband pulled over to the side of the road, and he got out and he picked 2 stones off the side of the road and he gave them to it. It was the best gift.
Best gift you ever got.
I have a piece of Canada.
Yes.
It was funny.
So when he gets back home with his little stone with him, he starts to have a lot of bad luck. His life became complete chaos. He didn't go into complete detail about what happened to him, but he said that his life never has been that horrible, and it got bad. So he was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So he returns the stone with a letter stating how he hoped the curse would be lifted now that it was no longer in his possession and went returned back. So there are some specific stories that people have told over time. So there's some truth to this. But the biggest thing is Sir Charles Colhurst, the one that owns the castle, says that every year he receives packages and letters mailed back with tourists have taken stones, and they don't want it anymore. They just send it back. So they can't. They don't.
Oh my God, that's so cool, though.
And he actually, the Blarney Castle Twitter, he runs that, and he posts the rocks and the letters a lot. Of people saying he'll cross their names off, but he will show the letter and the rock, and so that they know that he got it, and it's going back, and their luck will get better. So it's kind of cool. So you can go there to kiss the stone to get luck, but if you take a stone,
it gives you bad luck.
Kind of interesting. So in Ireland, like, there's a lot of myths that surround like the supernatural power of stones and rocks. The Celts had a religious devotion to rocks, so there's a lot of different stories behind rocks and stones in Ireland. They have the greatest collection of wishing and cursing stones anywhere in the world. And like their cursing stones, there's like these stones that have an indentation in it and another like round stone in the middle. And if you turn it counterclockwise while you say things, it will curse something or a person.
Yikes.
And it has to do with Christian saints, which is very weird because you wouldn't think Christianity would be cursing people.
Well, I think it's not. It's like that merge of pagan and Christian.
Yeah, probably.
It's just you see the same thing with Scots. Too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like that. They just kind of merged the two
Started,
together.
yeah, to make it
so like they're
smoother transition.
To them, Catholicism and paganism are hand in hand, even though they're like, oh, it's the devil. But I mean, even like Catholic song, like not Catholic songs, Irish songs, they sing about the devil and doing a dance with the devil. It's like different than if you come to the United States and like the Bible Belt.
Yeah, the Satanic Panic.
You don't talk about the devil. Where in Ireland, the devil eats dinner with you.
Yeah. So there's wishing stones. There's like places you can go to in Ireland that you can actually has a curse stone there. You actually use yourself to curse people, and there's like set up place. I think there's the island of Troy. I didn't write that down because I didn't think I was going to talk about it, but I am because it was kind of interesting. They have 2 spots you can go.
I don't know. I can't think of anybody I dislike enough to want to curse.
Yeah, and then
maybe
if you go,
maybe some famous politicians.
Yeah, maybe them.
But not anybody that I know personally.
No. And then also you can if you go clockwise, then it's like wishing. If you go counterclockwise, you're cursing. But also stones have curses on them, so if you take a stone, you can get cursed. There's a lot of myths and legends in Ireland around stones and rocks and how it can affect your luck. But if you think about in paganism, how different crystals and stones work for different things in your life, so it makes sense that the Celts, like their religions were around a lot of that stuff, and it makes sense.
And in Scotland, I think in Ireland too, they have like the truth springs.
Yeah.
The liar springs, where if somebody goes and drinks water from the spring and then tells a lie, then the brimstone will burn out their stomach and their throat.
Great.
Yeah. There's lots of that around. You go drink the water from the spring and then tell a lie and your guts will burn out.
Well, and then there was the puka holes.
Yep.
The puka holes. But I don't know what they really did.
And then they have like selkies and kelpies. Selkies are the seals that turn into people.
Yeah.
And then the kelpies are horses that live underwater.
And then there's, banshees.
Banshees.
From Irish.
They have a lot of
folklore. It's really cool. But that's the history and the story behind the Blarney Stone, Blarney Castle, and the curses. And just, like, the overall. It's kind of interesting because I guess I knew it was in a tower, but I didn't know, like you said, I didn't know that there was, like, a whole ass castle attached.
I didn't realize that it was a tower that they put the stone in. I thought it was something they built around the stone.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was in a castle, like the stone itself. I thought it was like part of a mountain, and then or like a big stone that they built something around.
Yeah.
But
no, it was and like they don't really like why it made its way to Ireland. And another thing was they thought maybe it was I can't remember the Gaelic term for it, but it was a magical stone that kings were crowned on, was another thing. And then there's another one that Jeremiah dragged it with him from somewhere to Ireland, and so many different stories behind how it got there that no one really knows why it's there. But in 2014, they did scientific studies, and they discovered that it was like a limestone located. It's actually from Ireland. The stone is, so it wasn't from another place. It's from Southern Ireland. So it didn't travel from another country or anything. It actually came from Ireland. So they do know that. They have scientific proof of that, and we believe science. So
we do. That
makes sense. But still, there's no all the legends and different like ideas that people have of it are very vague. There's no real. Everyone has a different reason, but someone said that they think that kind of helps with the mystery, making people want to come and kiss the stone and all that stuff too. It helps. Mm-hmm. So that's a big draw. And they said if they feel like it would have, like, it really helped the economy in that area because they have the Blarney Stone there. And if they never, if that one family never built the village around it and did that, nothing would ever been there.
Right.
It's just interesting. Anyway, there. I tried to stay in the Irish spirit and go and do something kind of spooky, but not spooky. Because it's lighthearted.
Yes. On another note, Colleen and I are also gonna start. We're gonna record our